I wish I'd had kettlebell sport as a kid. For one, well, especially in high school. I wish I had kettlebell sport when I was in high school. For one, when I was in high school, I hit my growth spurt a little bit later, and so I was smaller than all the other kids. I was competitive. I liked to play sports, but on the soccer and football and baseball team, being smaller, it was hard to be competitive at it. Kettlebells are great because there's weight classes and there's the strength to weight ratio, which they do the scoring on. So for that, it's really great. Also, it's very individualized, so you're not necessarily competing against another person. You're really just competing against yourself, and you're just always trying to do better. Another reason is the goal setting. And no other sports that I participated in where there's such clear-cut programming, where you start at a certain time, you follow a program with the end goal in mind, and you follow that program all the way through, and then if you followed the program and you did everything that you're supposed to do, more than likely you achieve that goal that you set out to do. And it really sets in motion the skill of goal setting and following a plan and sticking with it. Kids in high school have a lot going on in their lives. There's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety, there's hormones going on, there's peer pressure, there's all these things. And as a kid, a high school kid, you don't really know how to deal with all of these pressures. And for me, I was lucky. I found the weight training class, and through weight training, I was able to kind of work on building some confidence and burning through a lot of that excess energy. But the problem with my weight training class was, the teacher was, he was half asleep the entire class. He just kind of sat behind this desk and read a book or, a newspaper or whatever, and there was no real coaching that went along with it. So for a lot of kids, it was a waste of time if they weren't self-motivated. And the cool thing about kettlebell sport is, you have a coach and they are helping you along every step of the way. And there's some structure and some discipline to go along with it, which I think is very important for youth, especially that age. The other thing that's great is just, it goes back to this channeling of the energy, and kids, especially boys, high school age, have a lot of aggression. And, especially if they're frustrated with school or maybe not being popular or just not being great at everything because they're new at life. There's a certain amount of aggression, and high school kids tend to act out when they have untapped aggression. A great way for kids to be able to get out that aggression in a safe fashion, a safe, controlled fashion, is through exercise. And I think kettlebell sport really does a great job of teaching people how to handle their emotions, channel them, and really be able to calm themselves. There is a calming aspect to kettlebell sport that you don't really see in any other sports. So these are my reasons why I think kettlebell sport is really great, and I think it should be standard in high school students.